Hey, welcome to Joey's Hi-Fi Shop. Today we're going to be talking about Rega speakers, and specifically I want to talk about what my listening has been like for the past couple of months, because at the beginning of this YouTube channel I really went through a bunch of speakers that I've had in the collection, and I'm starting to get bites on them, and so some of them are going to be going away. And I wanted to kind of, reflect on them before we ship them off. So you see, we've got the Rega Kites here that are the current Rega speakers, and we've got the Rega R's here, which are the second edition, with their first edition being the original Rega Kites, which I still need to get my hands on. I have a customer with a pair of them in San Antonio. Seeing if maybe I can pull them up here. Maybe during Thanksgiving I can grab them. And these bookshelf Rega speakers are so seminal to their sound, the Rega sound. Now, I know most people, again, if you're watching this, I mean, obviously you're into Rega and you're probably into their speakers, but just in case you're not, Rega's known for their turntables, and then their electronics, and then their speakers. And I have to say, like, some of my favorite moments with Rega has definitely been their speakers, because they focus so much on pace, rhythm, and timing. Anything you get over that is just like amazing, meaning that you can get imaging, you can get all the audiophile things with them too, but gosh, like even a 20-year-old bookshelf set of speakers, they just have this way of making the music go that's just so much fun. And if you're thinking it's kind of weird that I don't, ascribe to the frequency response and sensitivity, and talking about how dead their cabinets are, is because I'm listening for something different. I'm listening for pace, rhythm, and timing. And that's what Rega and a lot of British hi-fi was based around in the 80s and 90s. And to this day, you'll still find certain brands and certain models that have that lineage to them. And yes, they know what the sensitivity is. They know what the spectral decay of their speakers' responses are. They understand their crossovers and all those things. They're not throwing everything out the window, but the way they're judging their speakers is based off of these things. And so what it's created is an opportunity to have speakers like these that show a lineage of a Rega specific driver here, which is known as the 125 or the R125, and the same style driver here with a different phase plug, but this one also has its own unique phase plug. And again, these are both, if we turn them around, they're both little bass reflex, meaning ported speakers. So in order to extract a little bit more low end out of them, they have these little ports here that are tuned to a certain frequency to in the lower end, in the bass area, to make them have a little bit more oomph. And so do these speakers play at ear bleeding levels? To me, they do. To some, they may not play loud enough, but to me, they definitely, quote, rock out. And they've been something that I've really enjoyed getting to compare back and forth, hearing what, with the latest Rega speakers, in my opinion, what you get all that Pratt plus a lot of refinement, a lot of resolution, and it's really nice. I mean, and I say it like that because sometimes, like when you go back, what you're getting with these you're getting a ton of naturalness. With these, you're getting naturalness and resolution, which kind of actually does lean a little bit more audiophile, to be honest with you. And so sometimes I prefer listening to a speaker like this, especially for music that was made in that era, like, I don't know, Nirvana MTV's Unplugged album sounds amazing on these speakers. All kinds of acoustic music, jazz. It's just a really fun, quick speaker. Is it going to have the low-end extension of this similar size, if not, about similar size speaker? No, it's not. These are going to have a little bit more extension. but they sound really great in and of their own. And what's fun about these speakers too is that you can run them with a Rega IO, you know, the entry-level Rega amplifier, the current one, and they both sound amazing. You can run them with a Rega Mira, which is from the mid-2000s all the way back to the mid-90s, and they both sound amazing. Rega Brios from those eras, like they're really great versatile speakers, and people run these speakers with all kinds of other electronics too. So it's not like they only need to be on Rega, but that's what they tend to be on. So I'm going to take a second here and just move these down. There's a little rug down there, don't worry. And then we have the Rega R9s and the Rega Ayas. And so I've been getting to listen to the Rega R9s pretty extensively. And I've done direct back-to-back comparisons with the Ayas. And again, I'm getting this very similar experience from the Kites and Rs, except that the R9s are full range speakers. They play just as low as the Ayas for all for all reasonable purposes. Now, again, though, they are, for me, have this naturalness to them, and I think that's also probably perception because of they don't have. It's not that they don't go as low; it's that they're not emphasized as low. So I guess they don't go as low, but like they have a very nice extension to them. You hear, like, especially on synths and on drums, like they sound amazing. And the Ayas sound amazing too. They just have a little bit more of it. And then on the other flip side, what's interesting about the R9s is that they have an amazing resolution to them. In my opinion, even more resolving than the Ayas, but in a different way. And I would call it a little bit less refined than the Ayas, but still very interesting, still very fun to listen to. You know, one of the things that I think we often get confused by is when we're doing reviews and we're comparing speakers, is that once you have a set of speakers, unless you are a dealer like me or you're someone that's continually going through speakers, they're your speakers. They're what you listen to every day. You're not missing out on anything if you're enjoying your speakers. So if you have a pair of R9s and you really love them, keep loving them, keep listening to them. If you have a pair of Ayas and you hear me talking about how resolving these are in a different way than the Ayas, like, keep loving your Ayas, keep listening to them. Don't worry about it. Just listen to them, enjoy them. That's ultimately what this is all about. But as a dealer, right, and as someone that researches, all of Rega's lineage, and again, a novice at this, I'm slowly becoming a professional at it. But I've got to earn my stripes, as they say, and these R9s have been a really good example of that. It really makes me wonder what the RS10s sound like, and other top of the line Rega speakers. I found a set of Rega Nios NAOS speakers, which were the flagship speakers before the R9s, but I can't, I haven't been able to contact the seller. The seller doesn't respond. So those would be really neat to have in. Another set that would be really neat to have in are the original flagship speakers, the Rega XELs. I heard those when I was 16, 17 years old, and they were amazing to me then. I wonder what they would sound like now. But yeah, it's just been a really interesting time listening to these speakers, listening to them on old electronics, on new electronics. Currently, I'm listening to them on the Rega Illicit MK5, and I've been using a Rega P8 with a ND7, the new cartridge, new moving magnet cartridge, and man, that cartridge is just fun. I'm sorry, I know that's not an audiophile term, but what I mean by that is that it just plays music. It's not the most resolving when I compare it to $2,000 and $5,000 cartridges like the Effeta 3 and the Felion 2. It's a $900, $1,000 cartridge. I mean, it shouldn't be, but it has this cohesiveness and this full-bodied sound to it. That's, I don't know, I just really am enjoying it. And getting to compare the speakers with that system has been really great. And it's also real interesting to use the phono section of the MK5. I am going to be getting an Aria MK3 pretty soon here, and that should be a fun review to do and also get some listening in. But the videos that are going to be forthcoming for a little bit here are going to be reflective videos because I introduced so many electronics. I want to now go back and be like, okay, I've been with them for a couple of months. I've experienced them, and this is what I think about them, because there's just not that much out there. So if you have questions about the speakers, put it in the comments. I'm happy to answer them. I'm not saying everything I say here is correct or 100% on point. I am just giving you my opinion, which is always interesting in the comments because people will always tell me, you know, really nice things. Actually, for the most part, they're all nice. Every once in a while, you get someone like, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. And it's like, okay. That doesn't really add to the conversation. If you say, I don't know what I'm talking about, and give me an example, we can have a discussion about it. So, yeah. The other thing I'll note is that you may notice a subwoofer behind the system. I have not been using that when comparing these speakers. I am literally just comparing the speakers on their own. Subwoofers are fun, but for me, for the most part, when I'm really doing serious listening, I turn them off because most really good speakers, like their extension tells so much about the speaker. And I don't mean extension as in how low they go. I mean like the resolution of that extension, meaning what does an acoustic bass sound like? What do drums sound like? What do synths sound like? Analog synths and digital synths. What is the tonality and the timbre of those instruments that we're hearing? In addition to the pace, rhythm, and timing, you know, what kind of textures does it give us? And I've always felt like subwoofers will detract from that. Now, it's great for movies. That's mainly what I've used it for. And it's great for EDM music if you're having a lot of people over and you want to be able to have like just a big system sound out of what I would call a full range speakers, but in a larger room. This room's probably, I would say 25 to 30 feet by 20 feet. So it's a pretty big room, and so it's because it's an open design, and for our floor space, and so having a sub does make a difference. I've had huge, like, you know, I used to sell Fine Audio, and I had some F704s in here, and it would grip the whole house, and you know, because that's 4 12-inch drivers plus the coaxial drivers, plus I had a sub. And yeah, at that point, you know, you're really kind of peeling the paint off the walls, as they say. But most people are listening at what I would call house, you know, listening levels. And these speakers to me have I mean, they play at really nice volumes. I was just listening to Devo on the R9s, and I mean, it grips the house. But there is a level that they will not go beyond. And I don't really approach it when I'm listening, but I just know that a lot of other people, and I've seen it when I helped run Dreamanoids and at Concert Sound, people playing systems beyond their capability. And what happens is that all the sounds just start getting what I call crunchy, and the lowest and loudest notes just start getting closer and closer. The sound level, everything sounds loud, and it's because it's all getting distorted. So when you're listening super loud on loudspeakers that have more than enough headroom, you'll never hear that. On these speakers, I just know not to play them super loud. I will say that is one thing about Rega speakers, is that they will play super clear up into a point. And one of the hardest things I think people have with them that put them in really large rooms, like this large or larger, is the fact that you can overplay them, and you can compromise their drivers, which I've had a customer or two do, and we've just replaced them, and they realize like how loud you can play them, because they are meant to be in what I would call like a British flat scenario, where the rooms are smaller, and or you're not listening at literally ear-peeling levels. I'm talking 115 dB or louder. I've seen some customers kind of just go crazy with it. I'm like, hey, you know, there are other brands of speakers that are going to cost minimally 3 to 5 times as much that will do that. Like a good brand I would mention is ATC, Dreamanoids HiFi, San Antonio, Texas. They sell them. That's a speaker that's made to peel the paint off the walls. Granted, there's speakers that do that start at around $17,000 to $22,000. You know, Fine Audio, the ones I was talking about, they were $20,000. And so to have that kind of sound, you're gonna typically pay for it. To have that kind of sound and resolution. And one of the things about Rega that's always been really interesting to me is that you get that sound, you just don't get that volume typically up to those ear-splitting levels, which is probably about 1%, or maybe for someone that is losing hearing at a rapid rate, 10% of their listening time. So yeah, I know that kind of was tangential, but I think these insights that I'm giving now about Rega speakers really are kind of unfiltered and a little messy. You have to go back and listen to what I said and understand that I'm getting into the weeds on these, which most people don't. You know, most people are like, great speakers, good bass, have a lot of imaging, you know, things like that. This is not that. This is more kind of getting nuanced about their speakers and how they sound, because I really enjoy them that much, and I could live with any of the speakers that we've discussed today. They're all really fun. It just depends. Again, like that's the fun part, is that you then come to someone like me that's a dealer, and you get to listen to them and decide, you know, which one is for you. So thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate y'all's support. I hope you're enjoying this adventure I'm on. And I've got more stuff coming in. I can't tell you what it is, but it's definitely random. So y'all take it easy.